Well, ladies and gentlemen, a very pleasant good evening to all of you as we welcome you to the 44th Annual Lorain Sports Hall of Fame Enshrinement Banquet. My name's Tim Elkhorn. I'm with AM 930 WEOL Radio, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies for this evening's program. And for many, many years, I have done a lot of high school sports broadcasts on AM 930 WEOL. Done a lot of different shows. I've emceed banquets and weddings and so forth. But I have never quite felt the pressure that I feel here tonight at the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. Now, for those of you that know the history of this illustrious banquet, for many, many, many years, and we will delve into this a little bit later on in the program, but Joe Tate, the voice of the Cleveland Indians and the Cleveland Cavaliers, served as the Master of Ceremonies at this banquet. And then when Joe was not able to attend due to those duties with the Indians or the Cavs, Ron Bacalar, who we all know very, very well, was able to fill in for Joe. Well, Joe is here tonight, but he has unequivocally said he is still in retirement. And unfortunately, Ron cannot be here tonight due to some medical issues in his family. So I know the shoes that I have to fill tonight are very large indeed. But I thank the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame Committee for allowing me to serve as your Master of Ceremonies here this evening. And we look forward to, once again, a wonderful night as we celebrate athletes and athletics in the city of Lorain. I think it's going to be a great time tonight. How about all of you? I was thinking on the ride over here, I remember my very first Lorain Sports Hall of Fame banquet. It was back in May of 1986. Boy, it seems like just last night to me, but I was sitting in the far, far corner of the room where they put the media table that night. I see you moved the media up. That's a good thing. We appreciate that. But I thought what an honor it would be to be at that microphone serving as the Master of Ceremonies, as I watched Joe do it that night. Little did I ever realize that it was going to happen someday, and here we are in May of 2013. So I look forward to serving those responsibilities here this evening. A couple of public service announcements for you. The bar will reopen for the dinner hour only. The bar will then reopen after the program is completed for your socializing. So for all of you that need a little nip as the night goes along, just be patient. We also ask that you please turn off your cell phones, or at least turn those cell phones to the vibrate mode or the buzz mode, because as remarks are made throughout the evening, we certainly don't want to have a cell phone going off. So again, if you could please turn your cell phone to the vibrate mode, or at least turn those off completely. Well, of course, for the past several years here at the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame banquet, we have been thrilled to hear this voice perform our national anthem. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will ask you to give a great big round of applause as performing the national anthem once again here in 2013 is Marlene Karpinski.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the was still there. Or say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Thank you, Marlene. A wonderful job again, as always. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I'm sure you are aware, this annual banquet is quite an undertaking. And year in and year out, the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame Committee puts together an outstanding evening to honor all of the athletes and some of the great programs in the history of the city of Lorain. And this year, the president of the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame Committee is none other than Neal Summers, and we'd like to have Neal come forward to address you now. Neal Summers, ladies and gentlemen.
Can I lower this? Thank you, Tim. Welcome to Lorain Sports Hall of Fame's 44th Annual Enshrinement Banquet. This organization was founded to honor those individuals who excel in athletic achievements or for those individuals in the sports arena. Tonight we will induct the class of 2013 consisting of 8 individuals and 2 teams whose accomplishments continue to exemplify the high standards of performance excellence. We congratulate tonight's inductees, but we also acknowledge the many family members, friends, and coaches who have given them the encouragement and support needed to succeed. I offer my sincere appreciation to you, the public, for your continued support in the tradition of honoring excellence in sports. Relax, dine, and renew old friendships as you enjoy the evening. Before proceeding, we wish to introduce those individuals who assist in tonight's program, seated at the table to my front right. Soloist Marlene Karpinski, clergy Father Divis, Mayor Chase Rittenauer with guest Lisa Hanley, Tim Alcorn, wife of MC Tim, oh, wait a minute, Diane Alcorn, I'm sorry, you have your own identity. Diane Alcorn, wife of MC Tim Alcorn, special guest Joe Tate with his wife Jean. Superintendent of Schools Tom Tucker is not here. I do know that Tom is he here? Oh, you were negotiating, weren't you? Your wife. I know, my wife was there. I'm going to hear all about it later tonight. Tom Tucker, welcome Tom, sorry. Also, would the members of the Elyria Sports Hall of Fame please stand? Thank you for attending our program. We were there last week. Thank you very much for your support. Thank you all for your support of the Hall of Fame Committee. The Lorain Sports Hall of Fame Committee proudly presents the class of 2013. We ask that you hold your applause until all inductees have been introduced. From the regular category, Henry Patterson Jr., I have to make sure, Henry, accompanied by his daughter, Mackenzie. Donald Hitchens, accompanied by his trainer, Keith Buckner. Mike Gormley, accompanied by his wife, Karen. James Swoboda, accompanied by his mother, Mary. Emmett Flynn, accompanied by his brother, Pat. Gary Patton, accompanied by his mother, Agnes. And John Lacey is representing inductee Byron Gladden. From the special category, Len Nichol, accompanied by his wife, Kay. From the team category, Lorain High School 90-91 girls basketball team, represented by Coach Jay Ferguson. And Lorain High School's 1959 football team, represented by Coach Ed Dohanis. Ladies and gentlemen, please join the committee in welcoming the class of 2013 into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. You may sit down.
Thank you, Neal. Thank you for introducing my wife as the MC here tonight. She's the master of ceremonies at our house, I can tell you that. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to bring forward for our invocation this evening, Father Daniel Divis.
Thank you. It's the only place I get applause before I pray. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I hope you do that again when I'm done. They told me to keep it short so that the evening would be shorter. I said, what happens this evening is not my praying, really. So let us pray. Loving God, as we gather together, surrounded by family and friends, we express our gratitude for the accomplishments of the past and commit ourselves to seek to fulfill the best of the potential within us into the future. May we strive both through words and deeds for greater love and thankfulness within our families, our communities, our nation, and our society. May we never be too busy to pause and to say thank you to each other and to you. Mindful of having been given so much, we again ask for your blessing now on us and the food that we are about to share or have already shared, and for the nourishment of our bodies and the strengths of our spirits. Blessed are you, O God, the source of all our gifts. Amen. Coming over.
Thank you, Father. I think if the prayer had been shorter, you would have gotten a standing ovation from this crowd. Well, ladies and gentlemen, dinner will now be served. We look forward to an outstanding meal from the folks here at DeLuca's, and then after dinner, our program will get underway. So enjoy the meal, and we thank you for your attention. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the 44th Annual Lorain Sports Hall of Fame Enshrinement Banquet, as the main portion of this evening's festivities are about to get underway. Now, I can tell you all that as the night moves along, I am sure you are going to hear some very entertaining and perhaps provocative comments from our guests of honor here tonight. But all you folks up here at the head table will be hard-pressed to top table B5 here tonight, where I had the opportunity to eat my dinner with the Honorable Mayor of Lorain and Father Divis and Joe Tate. You have not heard entertaining conversation until you've heard Father Divis and Joe Tate talk religion at table B5. I can tell you that. And the mayor wasn't there to hear any of it. The mayor of Lorain has been up and working the room throughout the evening, as he should do, as that political blood runs deep in his veins. And so at this time, not only will he work the room, but he will address the audience here tonight. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you the Honorable Mayor of Lorain, Mr. Chase Rittenauer.
Honorable, huh? Well, thank you to everybody for being here tonight, and thanks for having me. And I have to echo Tim's sentiment. This table is something. Let me tell you, Divis over here is the one who got me going back to church, and Tucker net by me, and Neal Summers is always entertaining, and Joe Tate here to enjoy it all. It's really something, and but more than that, makes this such a wonderful event every year. You know, first of all, the city extends its deepest congratulations to all of the inductees. Truly great accomplishments as you read through your program booklet. But also, you know, as I look out into the audience and I look up here, it's not just, I mean, it's about athletics, no question tonight, but organizations such as this and the other organizations that have spawned off and benefited because of the people up here and the people in the audience tonight, the civic organizations. These are not people in the crowd here that you see just at this event. All of you, all the people up here are good community members. They care very much about the city of Lorain. They care about their community, and they've contributed athletically as well as in so many other ways. And that's why it's such a great honor to be here with all of you tonight. And I brought my Joe Tate book with me to get autographed by Mr. Tate. And you know, one of the themes in the book that, as I thought about it on my way here, I wanted to relate is Joe talked a lot about the NBA and how the NBA in the early days is a lot different than the NBA today, and how the players, the teams, the focus was on athletics, whereas today it's not so much that. It's more of the outside of the game experience, and talked about how that was disappointing. Well, with organizations such as the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame, we're going to always make sure in Lorain athletics are at the center of this event, and we're going to make sure that we continue to honor those people who deserve our honor and our praise, both in past generations and in future generations. So once again, thank you for being here. Truly an honor, and I look forward to a great evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Chase. And by the way, before I proceed, I do want to go off script for just a moment about a great big round of applause for everybody here at DeLuca's for the wonderful meal we enjoyed here tonight. Terrific job done by everybody here at DeLuca's. So again, a great big thank you to all of the workers who made tonight's meal very, very special. Well, tonight, the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame observes the induction of their 44th class. The Lorain Sports Hall of Fame was founded in December of 1969 by a group of sportsmen in cooperation with the Lorain Chamber of Commerce under the leadership of Executive Director J. Ed Euland. Current committee member Hank Kozlowski and the recently deceased Paul Baumgartner were members of the Charter Committee. The purpose was to honor Lorain residents whose athletic achievements exemplify the outstanding sports heritage of our community. The first class of 9 individuals were enshrined in April of 1970 and have grown to a total of 323 individuals and 28 teams. Please refer to your banquet program, pages 4, 5, and 6, for a complete roster of past enshrinees. While a sizable number of those who have been honored are deceased, and many others reside in distant parts of the country, we do welcome those who are with us here tonight as far as past enshrinees. We now request that those in attendance please stand for recognition. If all past enshrinees could please stand. And the committee of the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame appreciates the continuing support of all past enshrinees. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, it's that time in the program when the Hall of Fame committee proudly inducts the class of 2013 into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. Tonight we induct 7 athletes whose athletic achievements have earned them recognition, 1 individual with an outstanding coaching reputation, and 2 teams whose excellence brought fame to their school and this city. I might add that these inductees were nominated by the general public, and with that said, if any of you believe that there are individuals or teams who deserve consideration for future induction into the Hall of Fame, it is up to you to obtain and submit a nominating application to the committee. Application forms are available from any committee member or at the museum and are also available from our website. We suggest that you read the complete achievements of each inductee, which you will find in their biography in the program book, because my introductory remarks are condensed and relatively brief. And we hope the comments of each inductee will be the same. And so, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to introduce inductee number 1, Henry Patterson. Leading off tonight's outstanding group of inductees from the regular category is Henry Patterson, who was recognized as a world-class track and field athlete. Patterson's career as a high jumper started in 1993 at Admiral King High School, where he also excelled in football and baseball. Henry's outstanding jump of 6 foot 10 inches at the state district meet led to a career at the University of Toledo. He was named the MAC Outdoor Track Athlete of the Year in 1996 after setting the conference record in high jump. He was a 2-time All-American and was first alternate to the 2000 and 2004 United States Olympic team. His all-time best was 7 feet 7 1/4 at the 1999 Nassau Invitational Championship. Henry was inducted into the University of Toledo Varsity T Hall of Fame in 2006. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Henry Patterson Jr. into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
Take your jacket off first. Yep. Over there still.
Yeah, hold on. Yep. I got it, okay. Got to take care of the guy who can't see. Hadn't we done that? Just a minute.
There you go, my friend. Enjoy. Yep, let's set her back down.
Wow. Wow. Before I begin my comments in the clock, Neal.
Okay.
I have to let the community know how well organized the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame is. They really run a tight ship. From the day I was notified up until tonight, everything has been top-notch and no detail has been left to chance. However, I will admit that I was a little concerned with one of the requirements for this evening. Neal Summers was the president and my handler, he told me. And he kept on reminding me that there was a strict 5-minute maximum inductee comment, over and over again. And I asked him, I said, how strict? And he said, Henry, so strict that you're going to be required to sign a waiver to authorize him or his designee, I guess Tim, to taser me if I go over by 5 minutes. I said, this doesn't count yet. I said, Neal, you must be kidding. He said, Henry, if you want to be a member of the hall, you better sign the waiver. So I signed the waiver. However, I happen to know a few lawyers who are prepared to sue if he follows through. With that out of the way, I would like to begin by thanking the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame and also congratulating my fellow inductees. This is truly an honor and an outstanding class for the individuals and the teams that are being honored here today. I would like to also thank my friends and family members who made it here today to support me. In particular, I'd like to recognize my wife, Deborah, who has been my biggest supporter over the years, from my earliest days at Toledo to the highs and lows of the Olympic trials and World Championships. From holding down the house while I was off training at 5 in the morning, or traveling to the Bahamas, Greece, or France. It's hard work if you can get it. While she went to jump over a bar. Deb, without you, I would not be here today, and I thank you for that. I also must thank all the coaches and administrators who've played a role in me getting here on this stage. From my early days of playing hot stove baseball, which I started at the age of 9 at Lakeview Park, to my days at Admiral King, all those coaches over the years played a role in me being here today. I also must thank all of the football coaches that I had from my days at Hawthorne through freshman football at Admiral King and JV football at Admiral King and varsity football at Admiral King. And though it wasn't in my program, I'm most proud, quite honestly, of the one victory I had my senior year. A lot of people don't realize, but the Admiral King football team was 1-9. We went into the last game 0-9. And I'll tell you, I never felt more proud in my life than sticking out that season and winning that last game. And so just something I learned about myself. But the discipline and perseverance that I learned from football is what guided me over my track and field career. However, I'm not here because of baseball, and I'm not here because of football. I'm here because of track and field. And consequently, I must honor those coaches that helped me get to where I'm at today. Importantly, I'm not sure they're here, but Tony Shoulders and Jim Klein were the two individuals who pointed me in the direction of the high jump. I didn't find the high jump, it found me. And in reality, they saw a tall, lanky, and uncoordinated kid who couldn't do anything else and said, go high jump. I've got to honor and thank Gary Byram and Tom Bilo, who are both deceased, but who played a very important role in my high school track and field career. Again, I high jumped for 1 year in the 9th grade, and those two individuals allowed me to get one more meet my senior year, and I'm grateful for them. I also must acknowledge Houston Love and Rich Yunker as administrators at that time to help me get to where I'm at today. At the University of Toledo, Coach Kent Baker and my event coach, John Agin, they took an unknown flash in the pants from relative obscurity to become one of the top high jumpers in the United States, and at one time I was ranked number 8 in the world. Finally, I'd like to thank my parents, who are both deceased. Despite a life filled with adversity, it was their love and guidance and support which allowed me to reach for the stars. They taught me at a young age to take advantage of any gift or blessing that you have, and never let anyone tell you that you can't accomplish or do something. Mom and Dad, I listened, and today I'm a member of the Sports Hall of Fame. Thank you.
Congratulations, Henry. Our second inductee from the regular category is Donald Hitchens, who certainly ranks among the top all-around athletes in Clearview High School history. As a football player, Don was all-county MVP, both on offense and defense his senior year. Offensively, Hitchens ran for 1,066 yards to cap a career in which he amassed 3,265 total rushing yards. He was Class A All-Ohio First Team on offense in his senior year. Defensively, Don is considered by many the quickest, toughest nose guard Clearview has ever had. He was named to the Class A All-Ohio Second Team on defense his junior season. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame, Donald Hitchens.
That's good, you missed it.
Missed it.
Thank you, sir. Here you go, young man. Congratulations. Now I get it back. I'll hold it for you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Don Hitchens, and if I go over, I know he's going to tase me. Mom, keep your eyes on me. If I'm flopping around, he got me. I want to thank everybody for coming out this evening, supporting us. I don't know where they found me. It took a long time, but they found me in the gutter someday, somewhere, and brought me up. I'm really thrilled. All the things I've been through in life, my sports endeavors have taken me places, and I've met great people, lots of great people who've done a lot of great things for me. Sorry, Mom, I had other moms that took care of me before I got home. I used to stop off and eat here and eat there. By the time I got home, I'd be so full, but I had to eat something. Sorry, Mom. But sports has been great to me over the years. My endeavors have been off the charts, if you will. I really enjoyed all the sports that I participated in. I gave my all. If I didn't, my mom was going to get me. She did. If I was going to eat up all her food, I had to do something to earn it. It's just outstanding to see everybody come out here, because I know you could be doing something else somewhere else, but instead you're here with us tonight. And it's so important to me to see everybody that I haven't seen in a while. All my coaches, my friends, people who have picked me up when I was down, literally, threw me over their shoulders and carried me off the field a couple times. It's just such a thrill. It's hard to explain, put in words. I didn't come prepared. I didn't think I need to. It's been a long time waiting for this opportunity to come. Coach King, how you doing, bud? It's just been a great endeavor. I've played with some great athletes who are already in the Sports Hall of Fame. Larry Harris, Mark Walden. We all participated, and we all got along and helped each other, pushed each other. We built a little dynasty out of our City View community. Everybody, just about everybody, participated in multiple sports. We all played more than one sport in order to keep the team going. You know, I would go out and play football and change my uniform, and I was wrestling the next week. Changed my uniform, and I'm running track the week after that. So I stayed active, I stayed busy. It kept me out of trouble. I want to thank some great friends who showed up to support me tonight, my loved ones, my family, my friends, my son, cousins, brother, my mom, my aunts, sister-in-laws, everybody. Petey Wooten. I really enjoy standing up and talking to people. It's just so hard when you don't see people for a while and you you think everybody done forgot about you, and then they pull you out from under a carpet somewhere and shake you off, and here I am. So I'd like to thank you for having me here this evening. This has been the most important moment of my life, and I'm just so proud that I still have my mom here to enjoy this moment, you know.
Thank you, Don. Very well done. I want to know who Peekaboo is, though. That's what I want to know. Petey. All right. Start tossing nicknames around up here. It could be a long night. The third inductee from the regular category is Michael Gormley, who excelled in basketball and baseball in the early 1960s at Lorain St. Mary High School. In basketball, he led St. Mary's to its first regional appearance in school history in that sport. In that senior season, Mike averaged 19.4 points per game, which led the North Central Conference, and he was named to the Class A All-Ohio third team. His basketball career continued at St. Procopius College? Did I pronounce that correctly? St. Procopius College in Illinois, where he started all 87 games in 4 years there and established the career scoring record of 1,576 points. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Michael Gormley into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
Thank you. Thank you.
There you go, young man.
Oh,
I'll take it back from you after you shake hands with him, and then I'll shake hands with you, and then you're ready to go.
Father, you're like this, being a good Catholic boy. I follow the rules. It's going to be less than 5 minutes. Okay. Everyday heroes go about their routine business of living, laughing, and loving. They make sacrifices and not headlines. They touch hearts and change lives, have high hopes, low profiles, and the admiration of all who recognize them as true heroes. Author unknown. I use this quote tonight as a thank you to all my high school teachers and coaches at St. Mary's, and to all my teachers and coaches at St. Procopius College, now known as Benedictine University in Lisle, Illinois. Without their teaching and coaching, I would not be standing up here tonight being inducted into my hometown's Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. Many things have changed in the game of basketball and baseball in the past 50 years. 50 years ago, there was no three-point line. No dunking was allowed. No alternate possession for jump balls. No traveling or AAU basketball teams. No summer basketball camps or leagues. No drilling behind your back or between your legs, otherwise you'd be called a hot dog and be benched. Probably the biggest change was the uniforms that we wore back in 1963. Today, we'd probably be arrested for indecent exposure. Despite all those positive changes that have occurred during the past 50 years, some things still remain. Basketball and baseball are still a game of fundamentals, a game based on teamwork, and a game based on dedicated, inspiring coaches whose basic goal is to motivate players to become the best they're capable of becoming. I was very blessed to have outstanding coaches in high school and college who trained me to be sound fundamentally, both offensively and defensively. Today I want to salute my high school coaches. Al O'Neill, my freshman coach, Chuck Musio, my sophomore coach, George Simonovich, and Jim Lawhead, who's here tonight. My varsity coaches were teaching me the basic fundamentals of basketball and baseball that enabled me to go on to college 2 years after graduating and still be able to play basketball and baseball at the collegiate level for 4 years. I want to thank my college basketball coach, Tony Scala, for convincing me that I could still play basketball after working at the American Shipyard 2 years after I graduated. I had an opportunity to go up there. I wasn't going to play ball. He convinced me to go out, and I was very fortunate 6 years later to take his place as the head coach at Illinois Benedictine College. To John Cole and Guy Murray and Jerry Colgate, who encouraged me to continue my baseball career and made baseball fun and competitive. Not only did they coach me the fundamentals of the game, but they taught me self-discipline, pride, passion, and the ability to become the best I was capable of becoming. 3 minutes. After graduating college, I was fortunate to go into teaching in the coaching profession. I've been greatly influenced by Coach John Wooden's Pyramid of Success and his definition of success. Every student I've ever taught or coached for the past 43 years had to learn Coach Wooden's definition of success. Success is peace of mind, which is a direct result of self-satisfaction in knowing you did your best to become the best you're capable of becoming. Looking back, these coaches have been my heroes who have inspired me to teach my students and players what the true meaning of success is. I've been fortunate to become involved in the Fellowship of Christian Athletes organization and try to impart those basic spiritual principles into my teaching and coaching career that I was taught by the teachers and coaches at St. Mary's. I want to thank all my teammates at St. Mary's for their inspiration, their dedication, and pride they have shown me. Some are here tonight, and I am very humbled by their presence. Some flew in from Georgia, from Pennsylvania. We had only a graduating class of 62 kids. That was unbelievable. We're still very close. Although I retired from the public school in 1993 as administrator in Darien, Illinois, I have continued to teach full-time junior high religion for the past 10 years as a way of giving back to the St. Mary's tradition of serving others. I've been married 43 years to my wife, Karen Gascoigne Gormley, who graduated from Lorain High in 1963, who didn't know anything about my career, okay? And I'm 1 day older than she is. I have two very special children, Todd and Sherry Ann, and two wonderful grandchildren. I hope my induction tonight as a former St. Mary's athlete will pave the way for more nominations from St. Mary's High School. I know many persons that attended St. Mary's High School are more deserving than I am, and I hope this recognition will help them get inducted because we were a small school. A lot of people didn't know about us. Also, finally, I'd like to thank, it would not be possible tonight if I didn't thank my brother Bill, who paid my tuition to St. Mary's. I didn't realize back then, but I came from a dysfunctional family. I didn't realize that, but now I look back on it. I couldn't afford to go, so I had to work 2 years ago to college. My brother Bill stepped in and paid my way through St. Mary's. So I want to thank him tonight for that. He followed my career. He went to my games. My father died when I was 5, so I never had a father. So Bill kind of took over. So, thank you. I will end with this quote, which I feel summarizes the impact of all my coaches, teachers, and teammates I've had in my life. It's my favorite quote. To the world, you may be one person, but to the one person, you may be the world. Thank you.
Right on time. Karen never saw you in those shorts that's in that program there? Oh, you saw him in those shorts. Yeah, the rest was history. I'm moving, Father, I'm moving. The fourth inductee from the regular category is James Swoboda, who was a multi-sport standout at Lorain High School, with his greatest success coming in football. In 1968, Jim became the first football player from the city of Lorain to be voted the Golden Helmet Award winner, signifying that he was the best gritter in Lorain County. He was all Buckeye Conference first team defensive end 2 years in a row. Jim was named All-State First Team by both UPI and AP and was honored as Ohio's Lineman of the Year. Jim was nominated to attend West Point but decided to accept a full-ride scholarship to Purdue University. Unfortunately, a severe ankle injury cut short what would have been a very promising career. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome James Swoboda into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
Jimmy, congratulations.
You know I hate this part of it.
Well, you'll do just fine. I won't taser you.
Yeah, well, you won't have to worry about tasing me, that's for sure. I'll be very short. This part scares me more than anything. I wasn't this nervous playing football in my freshman year. But anyhow, I'd like to thank the Lorain Hall of Fame for inducting me into it. It's a great privilege and honor to be accepted. I'd like to thank all my coaches who put in all the hours, all the time they spent with us, working and teaching us that even though we were small, you can still work together and be strong and win and learn stuff and learn how to do things and make it work. And I'd also, very much like to thank my mom and dad for all the hours they spent driving me back and forth to everything I did through my whole career. Thank you very much. Sure. You're fine. You need the other side there.
Oh, you scored some big points with Father on that one. You're in good graces with Father. That's a good thing. I'm still working my way out of that. You're a bossy father, aren't you? Our fifth inductee from the regular category is Emmett Flynn, who was a prolific scorer and three-year basketball letterman at Lorain St. Mary High School. His senior year offensive performance was record-breaking. Emmett compiled a 27.4 points per game average, shooting 45% from the field, and scored a team-leading season total of 550 points. He established a new school record single game total when he racked up 48 points against Parma Byzantine. Flynn was North Central Conference MVP, Class A, All Northeast Ohio District First Team, and was named to the Class A All-Ohio Second Team. So ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Emmett Flynn into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks. All right. Wow.
Good job, man.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I'll hang on to that for you if you want.
Okay, you got it.
Let me get the gun loaded here.
I can sit here.
Okay.
Oh, hey, what's up? Hey, what do you say? Oh, I got something I got to read. You know, this is indeed a special day. I'm privileged to be here. You know, I'd like to thank the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame committee for voting me in. And I was blessed by having 5 brothers growing up to play with, especially Mike and Pat. The competition was daily, and it still is. From Central Park to CYO to Lakeview Park, Irving, Longfellow, and all the public courts in Lorain. What would we do without the LaForce's court? Because we didn't have a court. Cameras had a court with an 8-foot rim. You know, we were slamming then, you know. But Reverend Balliette on 6th Street was really the big key. He had I played there like 6th, 7th, 8th grade, 9th grade. He had that rebound rim, that little rim, you know. I think the ball fit in like by an inch, you know. Practicing on that rim, you know, for all them years really helped, really helped. Anyway, and all the upperclassmen that I looked up to playing basketball, Mike Gormley, of course, my cousin Eddie Kramer, John Akesey, Joe Dima, Andy Brzezina, Wayne Sokowitz, Bruce Minnick. You know, all them guys were just, I looked up to them, and they were, you know. And, of course, my brother Mike's class, who pushed us, you know. And I'd like to thank John Burke for nominating me, and Terry King for being on my side, and Coach Lawhead for teaching me the basics of the game and for being a great mentor. And then I have something here about my worst nightmare would be coming down court and having to guard Bubbles Harris. And then coming down court and I got to guard, or Danny Breen's guarding me. Not a good thing, you know. And then my last thing I says of all the point guards that really, you know, passed the ball to me, there was Al Aaron and my brother Mike, and then there was Al Aaron and my brother Mike. You know. And then there was 2 times that me and my brother Pat, we combined for 48. One time against Lords, Pat had 12, and I had 36. And then there was the time against Parma when I had 48, and you do the math. Thank you very much. I'm happy.
That's good. The next inductee from the regular category is Gary Patton, an outstanding athlete at Admiral King High School, excelling in basketball, baseball, and football. Gary Patton's talents in football were especially memorable. He was the featured running back his senior year and rushed for 1,200 yards on his way to being named All-Buckeye Conference MVP, in addition to first-team All-County and All-District honors. Gary then accepted an athletic scholarship to Eastern Michigan University, earning 4 varsity letters as a running back. Gary established numerous EMU career records which still stand today. In 2009, Patton was inducted into the Eastern Michigan University Hall of Fame. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Gary Patton into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, good evening, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for coming. First of all, I'd like to thank the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame for the induction. All my family and friends that showed up to support me. Also like to thank some of my coaches that I've seen here today. Haven't seen you in a while. It's great to see you. Everybody looks good. I do. Everybody looks really good. But most of all, I want to have a special thanks to go out to my mother. I want to dedicate this jacket to you, Mom. You know, when I go into the Hall of Fame, you go into the Hall of Fame. You know, because without you, there would be no me. You know, and I really appreciate everything you've done for me. I appreciate all the things you continue to do for me. I wish you well. I love you. And once again, I just want to thank everybody for being here, and God bless you, and good night.
Father, you got a 9 o'clock movie you need to be at, or what's the story down here? You know, they show previews. upcoming attractions. We'll get you there. The final inductee from the regular category is Byron Gladden, a four-year varsity basketball standout at Admiral King High School. Byron's banner senior season was a major factor in the Admirals advancing all the way to the Division I regional final before losing in the state basketball tournament. Byron compiled 1,692 points to set the career scoring record that still stands today. He also pulled down over 1,000 rebounds in his sterling career. Gladden was named Ohio's Division I Player of the Year and also was selected as Lorain County's Mr. Basketball Award winner. Byron is not able to be with us this evening due to previous business travel commitments, but John Lacey, uncle to Byron Gladden, will accept the award on his behalf. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Byron Gladden into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
Familiar face, huh? I'll hang on this for you and then you'll see.
Good evening, everybody. Byron couldn't make it because he had some commitments with his son. But, quote, he said, "This is a humbling, and I am thankful for to receive this honor." And who he wants to thank his parents, Nadine and LeBron, and his brothers, Oink and Jamie. And he also wants to thank the MAC Club and all his teammates and coaches and the Admiral King fan base. And Mr. Joe Tate, you ain't got to worry about putting the king on me like he did 2 years ago. So, this is short and sweet. Thank you.
Father or Joe, one of the two.
Told you that table B5, man. There's some heavy hitters over there. We now move on to the special category. Inductees from the special category are those individuals who have contributed to the promotion of sports by providing leadership, coaching, or other assistance to the performing athletes. Representing the special category tonight, Len Nichol, the longtime track and cross-country coach at Clearview High School. His 31-year coaching tenure produced 10 individual state track champions and 30 state event placers. In addition, Clearview had an athlete in the state finals in 17 of his 21 years as head coach at Clearview. The outstanding highlight was the 2001 boys track team, which was crowned Division III state champions through the performances of Danny Davis and Jared Murphy, who compiled a total of 40 points in 5 events to garner that state championship. The Clearview track and cross-country programs were recognized during Len's tenure for their continuous success. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Len Nichol into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame.
Sir, I'll give it to you and I'll hold it for you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Lynn.
Okay, I've been warned not to tell any of my corny jokes here, so I'm going to be serious for tonight, I guess. Okay, first of all, I'd like to say my thank yous so I don't forget anyone. I'd like to thank God for his help and guidance through 31 years of coaching. Sometimes it would get rough, and other times it was a great deal of fun. I'd like to thank my 97-year-old mother for her love and support throughout my life. Next, I'd like to thank my wife, Kay, my son, Craig, and my daughter, Jolene, for their support and understanding through years, and for sharing me with my coaching. Thank you to my friends and family that came also. I want to thank my mentors, Wayne Ross, who won the state in 1973, and Marv Hoagland, who won the state in 1978 and 1979. They left me with a goal to shoot for. Thank God I made it. If there's one thing that I was good at, it was my ability to surround myself with excellent assistant coaches. There are too many to mention, but Mark Walden, Craig Port, and Homer Newman stuck with me for many years. And finally, the young men and the young women who worked hard and listened to accomplish their goals in track and cross country. My career started when I was interviewed for a teaching job at Clearview, and I was asked if I can coach. I mentioned that I played a little baseball in college, but was told that they did not have a baseball program at Clearview. And they said there was a track opening for an assistant coach. I told them I ran some track back in high school, and they said, well, give it a try, and I gave it a try for 31 years. The first day of school, Wayne Ross came in, who was the head track coach at the time, and had just won the state the year before. He walked in, dropped a bunch of books and magazines down on my desk, and said, start reading. A couple years later, I was offered the head cross-country coach job, and Marv Hoagland, who was an assistant coach like me, was offered the head track coach job with me as his assistant. It went well because Marv ended up winning the state in 1978 and 1979. In the spring of 1984, I was offered the head track coach position and remained the head coach for 21 years. Track season's a busy time of the year, so we tried to work with all the athletes when they would have things conflicting with it. In the springtime, there's a lot of things going on, such as choir rehearsals and concerts, band rehearsals and concerts, drama rehearsals and performances, doctor's appointments. Our coaching staff, whether some or all, would stay behind for a second practice, just so that those kids had the chance to work and improve themselves. Heck, my own daughter had to run the 3,200 meter run, which is about the last event, almost the last event, at districts, and because of arrangements, jumped in the back of my in-laws' motorhome and took a shower on the way back to Lorain for her senior prom to get there on time. I guess what I'm saying is that if you're going to coach, help them in more ways than just the sport. It pays off in the end. One of my other beliefs is that a well-rounded athlete can usually obtain his goals instead of specializing. You see it in the pros and colleges all the time. These students are only going to have one chance in life in their high school careers. Let them have fun. They're kids. I had an athlete that did everything, and he went on to college for football. Found out he didn't really like it. So he walked on to the track team, and he was a two-time All-American. I know that I've been out of the coaching ranks for a while, but at the time, I would question other coaches, and probably 95% of the coaches agreed they liked the all-around athlete and that he was more valuable. I've seen many athletes specializing and getting burned out from it. Yesterday, by the way, the reason I'm stumbling around here, I had my speech and then I changed it. Yesterday, because of this, I received an email from a young man, and he was a former runner who was hard-headed and wasn't thrilled about doing things my way. He ran at the state meet all 4 years with relays. Here's what he said to me about being inducted into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. It's been well overdue, Coach, but very happy for you. Not only were you a very good coach, but you were a father figure to a lot of us. You never let us get away with missing, being late for practice. We were mad as hell then, but we became grown men, and we looked back and said, okay, this is what he was doing, getting us ready for the real world. So I take my hat off to you, Coach. Thanks for everything. Even running with me before and after practice when I was late or missed. You really pushed us. Congrats. Love you much, man. Take care. This is what made coaching worthwhile for me. I'd like to thank the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame for this honor, even though I don't feel worthy, but I'll take it. Thank you very much.
Well done. You're worthy. There you go, sir. Enjoy. All right.
Congratulations, Coach.
Thank you.
Very well done.
Thanks, Tim.
Congratulations. We now move on to the team category. And tonight we honor the Lorain High School 1990-91 girls basketball team. Before proceeding with the introductions and biography, we invite all team members who are in attendance tonight to come forward to the front and stand here in the front as I read about your accomplishments. The Lorain High School 1990-91 girls basketball team was the first Lorain High School girls team to go undefeated during the regular season. With the nucleus from the previous 18-5 squad returning and bolstered by several additions, a banner year was indeed expected. Those hopes were achieved as the team compiled a 20-0 regular season record, capturing the Erie Shore Conference title and the Division I sectional championship. They absolutely give them a round of applause. They then lost their first game of the season in the district tournament to complete the year with a sterling 22-1 record. Several team members received recognition at the Erie Shore Conference and all county levels. In addition, Lathwell and Bennett were named to the Division I All-Ohio first and third teams respectively. It goes without saying that the 1990-91 girls basketball team at Lorain High School turned in an outstanding season. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Lorain High School 1990-91 girls basketball team into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. And accepting on their behalf will be the head coach of that team, Jay Ferguson.
Thank you. Now, it was five minutes an inductee, and I got 9. So loosen your belts.
Where's the taser?
What I would like to do is introduce these ladies, and I promised them I would get them to their seat. Starting from my right, our manager was Raymond Baraga. He was with us for several seasons and always ready to lend a hand at what we needed. Heather Zeal-Dick, Aaron Boughton-Stanchik, Stephanie Minnick Harness-Fager, Amy Rufo Cornwell, Melanie Nisenbaum-Zabel. They all only had 2 names when I coached them. Melanie Nisenbaum-Zabo, Shonda Cheers, Jessica Williams-Bird, Kyle Lathwell, Jan Hembry. And the 10th member of our team was Monica Bennett, who is a police officer in Jacksonville, Florida, and could not get off to attend. we haven't been together in quite a while, but you can see that they have not missed a beat when it comes to the way they got along, and that really transmitted itself on the court. Ladies, if you want to take a seat, I can allow you to do that. Or you want to stay here? Okay, they want their 15 minutes of 15. I'm up to 15 now. A couple of things. First, just as an aside to the mayor, if you have your Joe Tate book, he may not realize this, but I'd be happy to sign it as well because I'm featured prominently on page 90, as mentioned actually by Bob Price. We were fraternity brothers in college. I'd like to thank the Hall of Fame committee because it allowed me to spend time again with some people that I really like being around and enjoyed, and it's good to see everyone and get them back together. I'd like to congratulate all the individual inductees, and a special mention to a dear friend and someone I really admire and look up greatly, even though he's much younger than me, but I consider him a bit of a mentor to me because I always kind of say, what would Henry do? Congratulations, Henry. I'm very proud to represent the first women's basketball team to be honored by the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. The year 1991, we did have high expectations. We opened the season at Lakewood, and they had been very good the year before. They were 17-3, and we had 4 losses in the regular season ourselves. Well, the first half came, and it clicked. And we went into the locker room, well, we went into halftime, 38-19, we were ahead of what turned out to be a very good Lakewood team. And just so in those days, girls' athletics wasn't what it is now, and it certainly wasn't the same as boys' athletics. So to bring us down to earth, they escorted us to a stairwell off of the gym at Lakewood High School for our halftime talk, and we sat on the steps and talked about the second half. It was, okay, back to earth, girls. But the season progressed very, very well. And, other highlights, we played at Admiral King right before Christmas, and both teams were undefeated. It was, it was a big girls' basketball game in the city at that point. And again, we got a good start and won that rather handily, and kept rolling. We went to Vermilion, which was, they were the second place team. They had only had one conference loss in January, and we had to go to their place, and we knew it was going to be a big game in Vermilion, but I don't know if we were ready when we walked in and the place was packed. And I mean, packed. And it was a dogfight, and their crowd was, Kyle had missed a shot early that somebody got a hand on, and every time she touched the ball, they chanted, air ball. And the game came down in the last minute. I think we were behind by a point and got to the foul line and split a pair of free throws, and we tied them, and they got the ball off the rim and threw it out to half court. And to this day, if that girl had looked up, we'd be talking about a 19-1 team. But she turned and dribbled, and one of the more remarkable plays of that season, Kyle drew a charge at half court. And so we got the ball back with about 40 seconds left and ran the clock down, and she hit a shot at the buzzer. And Thurm Riddle, one of the assistant coaches who couldn't be here tonight, sent me a note to be remembered to all the girls, and he said, one of the highlights of my long coaching career in Lorain was listening to the Lorain High fans at Vermilion as they chanted air ball, while the Lorain High girls celebrated on the court. A bittersweet night, and something that Lorain needs to always remember. We were 19-0, and we played Sandusky our last home game, and it was a Tuesday night at the beginning of February, and it was election night. And again, a big crowd. The cheerleaders were there. It was a big hoopla. We had expected to beat Sandusky because we had handled them early pretty easily. But the reason that there was an extra tension in that gym was the school levy was to decide the fate of extracurricular activities in the city of Lorain. And what I remember most from that night is not how good it felt for what we were about and did finally accomplish, but I can remember sitting on the bench and in the fourth quarter knowing that we were going to win and looking down at the end of the gym and seeing the cheerleaders in tears because they had got the election results. And what that meant was that at that point, all extracurricular activities in Lorain ended. The night that we lost to Westlake in the district was the last event of any kind in the city that year. The prom was canceled, spring sports were canceled, and we had several outstanding softball players who also played basketball but were counting on softball season. As Mr. Tucker and I were talking about earlier, it was a turning point and not a positive turning point in the city. And, you know, to these girls, you know, still to this day, I apologize for what happened to your senior year, but I'm very proud that you have become the people that you have. And I urge everyone in a decision-making category. High school athletics teaches so many wonderful things. It's only a game, we can cut that. You know, we all wouldn't be in this room if we felt that way. And, you know, to these girls who accomplished so much, that night was such a bittersweet memory. But I don't want to end it that way because this group, you know, they are special because of what they accomplished on the court, but they're more special in my heart because of the people they were, the people that they are, and the citizens and parents that they have become. And it's great to see them, and you know, it's condescending at this point in their lives for me to say that I'm proud of them, but I'd really like to because I am. And thank you, ladies, for a great ride. And now I would be remiss if I didn't mention the brains behind the operation who is back there in the corner. Randy Lathwell, please stand up. He didn't come up when he was supposed to, but he was the brains behind the operation on the bench with me, guiding things. And to the Hall of Fame committee, just one more thing. I'd like to thank you, but because to my son, you know, my coaching career is the guy with the clipboard at the end of the bench and say to Anthony Stacy, things aren't going so good, you better get a timeout now and think of something. And so, you know, it's nice for him to recognize that I actually did at some point do something besides sit there and hold the clipboard. Thank you very much.
Okay, they're down. Oh, you got them? Okay. Yep. Someone forgot that detail. I didn't get the email.
Congratulations, ladies. Congratulations, Jay. And tonight for our second team honor, we honor the Lorain High School 1959 football team. And like we did with the ladies, before we proceed with introductions and biographies, we would invite any team members that are here tonight to please come forward and stand in front. So again, any team members that are here from the 1959 Lorain football squad, please make your way forward.
Lead him down there, Ronnie. Lead him down there. Bunch of old fat guys. He's alone standing next to you. Might as well do it.
The Lorain High School 1959 football team will always be recognized as one of the finest teams in the history of Lorain High School. 19 seniors and a group of very talented juniors led the team through one of the toughest schedules in the state, playing in the always competitive Buckeye Conference. Their final record of 7 wins and 2 losses in close games with Warren Harding and Elyria was achieved despite the season-ending injury to star running back Harold Jones. The Steelmen shared the Buckeye Conference Championship with Marion Harding and Elyria and ended up ranked 9th in the state of Ohio. The team received a remarkable number of awards for their outstanding season. 8 players were named to the All-Buckeye Conference first and second teams, and All-Ohio first team honors were awarded to Ray Martin, Mike Mishak, and Jim Turton. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a good-looking group of gentlemen right here. And let's welcome into the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame the 1959 Lorain High School football team. And Coach Ed DeHanis will now head to the microphone to make a few remarks.
Hey Ed, there's about 40 of us. Okay.
54 years ago. Think of that. Some of you people weren't even born. And they lied. That guy lied up here. He says these guys are good looking. Some of them got fatter. A few of them got better looking, but they were great players. They were Lorain High. They were steel people. They were tough kids. I want to give one credit to a person that did all the footwork on this. He likes to be called Reverend Ken Gerhardt. He did all the footwork. I found out he was my neighbor. I didn't know that. So Ken did one hell of a job. Real quickly, I want to mention the coaches. Art Lave was the greatest motivator I ever worked for. I wanted to play for him when he got done talking prior to the game. Tony Misko had one famous statement: "You don't have a gut this big." And he got a lot of people to work hard when he made that statement. I received a thing tonight, and it came from the Misko family. It says, "Coach Misko sends his respect and congratulations. He's in room 203 in Mill Manor Nursing Home in Vermillion. Visitors are appreciated. Thank you, the family of Tony Misko Jr." Don White, he was all muscle, and he showed it. We had some fun with him, and I won't mention what they were. Angie Bangus coached our ends, and he was very quiet, but he got the job done. When the season was over, a year later, Art and Don White went to Kenyon College, asked the whole staff to go with him, and we did not go. We figured Tony and I went to the new Admiral King High School. The 1959 team, you've already heard it mentioned, ended up 7-2, ranked 9th in the state, and they knocked off second-ranked Marion. Captains were Jim Turton and Ray Martin. All Ohioans were Mike Mishak, Jim Turton, and Ray Martin. The above three were all Buckeye Conference, along with Harold Jones, Jerry Swoboda, Ken Gerhardt, and Dale Warfield. Let me pause for 1 second. Harold Jones, will you step forward, please? I don't know what you people are clapping about. I haven't said what I want him out there for. If this gentleman hadn't got hurt, we'd have ended up maybe 1 or 2 in the state and undefeated. But we lost him. Nobody could tackle him. They couldn't find him. Ray and Martin, he were a tough duo. We also had some fun. Ron Sauer wore a t-shirt the entire season. In fact, Art Lave cut it up with his scissors. He got tired of smelling it and watching it stand there.
He's not here tonight.
Turton, I had a problem with him. I coached the backs, the offensive and defensive backs. And every time in practice when I say, all right, all the backs come with me, I knew he'd be standing in a pile somewhere. He wanted desperately to be a running back. But hell, he was an all-Ohio guard, probably the fastest guy on the team, so we were not about to change him. One person I hope would be here tonight, Bud Brown. All 159 pounds of him. He had one bad habit, and I could never break him of it. He would run over defense people that got knocked on the ground, and he'd run all over them and step on them. And I said, that's a penalty. But nobody ever called it on him. I found out from Harold tonight that Bud Brown's over in Germany. He found some lady he liked over there, and he's still over there. He won't come back. At this time, I asked the captain, I want the captain to introduce these people. He knows them better than I do. My memory is terrible about this time. In fact, I almost forgot to come here tonight. Okay, so if Mr. Turton will step forward and introduce these people, let's give him a big hand when he gets done.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Hall for honoring this team. And this team is well deserving of what the honor they're receiving. Why were we so good? Because we practiced as hard as we played a game. And we enjoyed the hitting and the hard work. So I hope I got everybody. I walked around today trying to make sure I got everybody's name. So if I miss somebody, grab me by the ear, okay? And when I mention your name, kind of step forward and then see the coach. He's got a certificate for you later, okay? We're going to start off with Mr. Ken Gerhardt, our center. Pete Rocky Savinsky, who was a defensive lineman. Ron Sauer, offensive and defensive tackle. Jerry Swoboda, offensive and defensive end. All-Ohioan and Hall of Famer Mike Mishak, offensive end, linebacker, and punter. Walt Sheep Daddy Wilson, guard linebacker. And as you all have known, Harold Jones, running back. Calvin Grabowski, fullback, linebacker, and our place kicker. And if you're ever in a street fight, call Calvin. Bill Tippy, quarterback. Tom Bloom, offensive tackle. Dan Cook, defensive end. Jerry Pacherik, center. They told me Jerry's going to be here, maybe not. Okay. Jack West, tackle, linebacker. Jack Targett, quarterback. Bill Fashing, guard. Andy Belichick, tackle. Andy was an underclassman, but he always used to play over me in practice, and God, I hated it. Jim Tomasic, guard. Ron Erdy, running back. And Ron Turbovich, end. I don't know if we miss him. So, did I miss anybody?
Joel Houston.
Oh, there you are, Joe. Joel Houston, tackle. Joe used to give me breaks on extra points, I remember. And I thank you so very much, and I thank the Hall.
Eddie, Ed, you want to take that?
Okay.
Okay.
All right, very good.
Thank you, gentlemen. Again, congratulations. Congratulations, Ed DeHanis. Of course, for Ed DeHanis, that was just another one of his many stops in his coaching career. Not many people know Ed was one of the original coaches of the Canton Bulldogs when they started back in 1930, wasn't it, Ed? He's been around a long time, and he certainly has done tremendous things for Lorain County sports, no doubt. I didn't know he was a part of that team. So that concludes our inductions as far as our regular members and special category and team awards. And ladies and gentlemen, we now move to that time of the evening where we recognize current student athlete award winners with the J. Ed Uland Award presentation. The 4 J. Ed Uland nominees for 2013 are gathered at the front door, and they will now proceed to the front of the room as they are introduced. But let me first give you a quick background on the J. Ed Uland Award. The J. Ed Uland Memorial Award was originated in 1974 by the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame to recognize annually the outstanding senior student athletes from the participating high schools. These students are nominated by their school and must have excelled in athletics, achieved in scholastics, and participated in extracurricular school and volunteer activities. The program involved as many as 6 participating schools at its outset, who each submitted a nominee. Secret balloting by the committee determined the winner and runner-up for the scholarship awards. So we now ask that the Uland student athlete nominees who are here this evening, please make your way forward to the front of the room. In 2002, the basic format was revised to provide for separate scholarship awards to the outstanding male and female student athletes from the nominees submitted by the schools. With the recent consolidation of schools, Lorain and Clearview High Schools are the current participants in the scholarship awards program. The committee has again reviewed the format and has recommended that effective with the class of 2013, each of the 4 nominees will now equally share in the scholarship award. So therefore, the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame Committee is pleased to present to the following student athletes a commemorative plaque and a scholarship award of $750. President Neal Summers, assisted by Superintendent of Schools Thomas Tucker, will make the presentations to the nominees. Representing Clearview High School in our student athlete, or in our J. Ed Uland Student Athlete Awards, are Caitlin Baker and Michael Hollingsworth. And representing Lorain High School for the J. Ed Uland Award, Kayla Lurie and Blake Bendyard. Again, one more time, ladies and gentlemen, how about a big round of applause for the J. Ed Uland recipients? We congratulate these young ladies, as well as this young man in attendance tonight, and we certainly wish you well in continuing your education. And the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame gratefully acknowledges the financial grant received from the Lakeland Healthcare Corporation Board of Directors to assist in funding the scholarship awards. Congratulations to all of you. So, ladies and gentlemen, as you've heard throughout the evening, sitting here at table B5, the heavy hitters who have come to visit us tonight: the Mayor of Lorain, Chase Rittenauer, Superintendent of Schools Tom Tucker, and of course you've heard several references to the man who stood at this very microphone for many years as the MC for the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame banquets, Joe Tate. And as I mentioned earlier, I know I've got some big shoes to fill here tonight. Over the many years of broadcasting high school sports in our area, I've had the privilege of calling many huge games, several state championship matchups, football, basketball, baseball, softball state championship games played at the highest level. I always get a little nervous before those broadcasts on WEOL, realizing the significance of the games and also knowing those broadcasts certainly live on through recordings or highlights that are played back. It can be a little nerve-wracking, but for all those big games that I've done over the years, I've never been as nervous as I was when I was asked to introduce and offer some remarks about our very special guest here tonight. How would I find the words to introduce and describe an iconic figure, beloved not only in our area, but across the country? What could I say up here tonight about a man who has achieved the absolute highest honor in his profession, the NBA Hall of Fame? What words could I say that would be fitting and appropriate? Then it struck me, I don't need to find those words or offer those phrases, because our guest doesn't consider himself all of those things. He would never use the terms legendary, iconic, or beloved if asked to describe himself, because he never forgot where he came from, never forgot where his career roots were planted, and never forgot to achieve the level of success he did. He's called games in places like New York, Chicago, Boston, Miami, but he never forgot what it was like to be involved in a game at schools like Lorain, Clearview, Lorain Catholic, Admiral King, Southview, or Lorain St. Mary's. He's called thousands of games in venues that I've dreamed about broadcasting from just once. But our guest never forgot about a guy like me, broadcasting from cramped football press boxes, crammed in bleachers and packed gymnasiums, and then telling me how lucky I was to do what I do. He's had the opportunity to dine at some great restaurants throughout his travels across the country, but yet if asked, he would tell you his favorite place is Rosie's Pizza Palace on Broadway in Lorain. And so tonight, the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame honors and remembers our guest who stood in this very spot and emceed this banquet for many years out of his passion for local sports and his love for the essence of sports, athletics at the high school sports level. And just as he never forgot, the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame has not forgotten all it meant to have Joe appear on an annual basis and add his unique flavor to this yearly gathering. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I ask this year's president of the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame, Neal Summers, to come forward. And I also ask you to give a huge Lorain Sports Hall of Fame welcome to my mentor and my dear friend and our special guest tonight, longtime friend of the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame, Mr. Joe Tate.
I have the second half of his speech right here. If you Google the name Joe Tate, you will get 4,270 results. Director of HR, accounting analyst, photographer, staff attorney, to name a few. However, if you go to Wikipedia, you will find Joseph Joe Tate, born May 15, 1937. Belated happy birthday, Joe.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Is an American sports broadcaster who called the radio play-by-play for the Cleveland Cavaliers of the NBAs and both the TV and radio for the Cleveland Indians of the Major League Baseball. With the exception of the 2 seasons in the early 80s and illness in 2010-11, he was the Cavaliers radio announcer the team's inception in 1970 through the 2010-2011 season. Joe is legendary for wham with the right hand, and yes, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus, and he comes from Lubbock, Texas. Joe first emceed the Enshrinement Banquet in 1985, and left the Cavs were in the playoffs. He was here year after year the first week in May. In fact, if you look over the Cavs' record during that time period of '85 to 2011, the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame has a 90% plus record versus the Cavs. He has spent more time in Lorain in early May than the broadcast booth, and for that we thank you. Joe was inducted into the Lorain Sports' first ever honorary enshrinement class in 2001. Now that Joe is retired, we invited him to return this evening so that we can express our sincere appreciation for his support as a friend of the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. Joe, please accept this presentation as an addition to your collection of memorabilia from your many travels, and that there is an extra large deluxe pizza coming right through those doors from Rosie's Pizza in the back. Well, I was going to be in the back cooler, but she insisted on bringing it to you. Thank you, Mr. Tate. This is for you, Joe.
Oh. Thank you. How
I'll
are
hold
you?
this, you get the pizza.
How are you? Huh?
Fine,
Good to see you.
Same here.
Yeah.
It's been a long, long time.
Oh,
Here,
yeah.
have the pizza.
I will. I will.
This is from Mom and the rest of the family. It's a little railroad memorabilia.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
And good luck to you, too.
Thank you.
Your wife wants the pizza.
All right.
Open this.
You want me to open that?
Oh, I sure do.
Oh, okay.
Just rip it loose. What the hell?
You never would have believed when we started this evening that of all of the people up here tonight, the guy who would go longest would be Alcorn himself. I thought I taught him better than that. I really did, coming over tonight.
There you go.
I told my wife, I said, you know, ooh, look at this. Outstanding. It's a picture of the locomotive out of the Black Hills Central. That's great. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, my wife Jean and I celebrated our 30th wedding anniversary yesterday, and I said, if you'll just wait a day, I'll take you out to a tremendous place to eat. You see a lot of people, there'll be music. I said, it'll really be befitting of our 30th year together. And then I brought her here, and on the way home, I'm probably going to end up with bruises on my arm. No, this brings back a lot of fond memories. You know, it's interesting. Alcorn knew what he was doing because the last time I was out here, the gals from Rosie's came over and they had the pizza out in the hallway there, and when the door opened I saw the pizza and I turned things over to Tim and I left. So he moved me down to the end of the lineup tonight so I could get the pizza, which I really appreciate. Rosie is one of the truly great people that I have met in or out of sports, and she kind of epitomizes the whole thing that goes on here every year. And I thought about possibly talking for 45, 50 minutes, calling it Tate's Revenge, but I will not do so. I will just sincerely thank all of you who have made my visits to Lorain a very positive and memorable thing. And believe me, Tim would never understand this, but crawling up that ladder into that crow's nest at Keystone High School in the old gym to do a basketball game is still numbered among one of my very great moments in sports. So thank you and have a good night, everybody.
Thank you, Joe. Bring this down to you.
Don't anybody touch that pizza. Timothy, thank you.
Now, Here's the thing about going up into that crow's nest at Keystone. I was underneath Joe Tate. I don't count that as one of the highlights of my broadcasting career. There was a JV game going on as Joe and I climbed into that crow's nest. There was not one spectator in the stands that was watching that junior varsity contest at that time. They thought for sure Joe was coming down on my head. And Joe, you said you taught me a lot, and indeed you have. But one thing you didn't teach me: to get married on your birthday. That's brilliant. That is absolutely brilliant. So happy birthday, Joe. Happy anniversary to Joe and Jean, 30 years together. That's awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame annually salutes high school athletes who have brought the city and their schools recognition through their athletic achievements. Athletes are selected by consensus by the Ohio High School Athletic Association to the All-Ohio First Team in their respective sports, or winning a state individual title in tournaments that are sponsored by the OHSAA. The Hall of Fame committee has coordinated a new program to present an appropriate plaque to each athlete at a school function to commemorate the honor. That being said, we would like to recognize the following athletes that have been so recognized during the 2012-13 sports season. From Lorain High School, Alicia Arnold, Division I All-Ohio Track. Melody Ferris, Division I All-Ohio Track. The Lorain High School Team, Division I All-Ohio Track. Eli Garcia, Division I All-Ohio Wrestling. From Clearview High School, Jarrell Williams, Division II All-Ohio Track. Matt Hollingsworth, Division III All-Ohio Wrestling. Chad Anderson, Division IV All-Ohio Football. And Quentin Horton, Division IV All-Ohio Football. We congratulate all of those athletes from Lorain High and Clearview High School for those tremendous accomplishments this season. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned earlier, I knew tonight I had some big shoes to fill, but I enjoyed every single solitary moment of this and certainly look forward to making a return visit next year, whether it's in this capacity or some other role. But for now, my time at the microphone is over, and for our closing remarks tonight, I would like to turn the microphone back over to your Lorain Sports Hall of Fame president, Neal Summers.
Tim, thanks a million for filling in for Ron. You did a great job, and we look forward to having you back again. A round of applause for Tim Alcorn. The committee appreciates the media presence in supporting our programs and the Lorain Sports Hall of Fame. The Morning Journal sports staff, Jim Allen of WEOL Radio and Joe Bach of WLCS TV 20 contribute to the success of the annual event. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, media. Would you stand up, please, back there in the media table? Come on. We can't forget Len DeLuca and the staff here at DeLuca's Place in the Park. Thank you for your cooperation in making this another successful and enjoyable event. Finally, to Banquet Chairman Bob Lisicki and the Banquet Committee, to the program book editorial staff and coordinating editor Bill Stow, to advertising coordinator Ted Driscoll and staff, to Bill Stow and Bob Katrasak, co-chairman of the Narrative and Screening Committee, and to all members for their dedicated efforts in producing this event to honor our athletes in the city of Lorain. Finally, the next activity is our annual golf outing on Saturday, July 20th at Fox Creek. If you are interested in supporting this event through the Hole-in-One sponsor program or being a participant, applications can be obtained from Golf Chairman Ron Feldkamp or Rick Hands, or any committee member for details. See page 19 of the banquet program book. We invite you to visit the Hall of Fame Museum located in St. Joe's Community Center, main lobby. For details, see page 25 in the banquet program book. Finally, we thank you for your support in being here tonight. And the moment you've all been waiting for, Father Divis. Get up here, please.
So it's a 10 o'clock show. It's a 10 o'clock show.
Let us pray. Oh, loving God, we thank you for your kindness and refreshing us tonight as we celebrate your gifts. Continue to strengthen us not only in body but also in spirit. And we give you thanks for knowing all our needs, and we pray that the Spirit's love will shine in us as we serve one another. And we ask your blessing on us now and as we go from here always, through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
See you at church.
All right.
This has been a production of Lorain City Schools TV 20 WLCS.